the reaction too.
Just me living. I don't know. I'm not having a good week, but I forgot I have a bird.
Is it because of my hair?
Yeah, he better be quiet. That's what I thought, if I'm being honest.
Me too. I was like, but Juliana already saw my hair, so I was like, wait, like what's
because Juliana, I didn't see his hair until he posted the thing on Instagram advertising the podcast. I just texted him. I was like, no.
Yeah. It was,
not the hair.
What up, guys? Welcome back to the No Cultured Podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Santos, with our co-host, Samuel Schnee, and our other co-host, Juliana McKenna. Please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below, guys, what you guys want to hear from us, what you guys want to, communicate with us about, anything, honestly. Just subscribe, like, and comment. We want to hear it all right? Today, we're going to be talking about Easter, what's been going on in the world, coronavirus, because, that is our world right now, and other topics. So let's just get right into it, all right? Easter Sunday. How was everyone? Let's go. Sam, you first.
It was good. My family likes to have a more low-key Easter. All we really do is have a nice Easter dinner. And we have a lot of elderly people who live around us. So this year we cooked a massive meal and got a ton of flowers from our garden and delivered care packages to a bunch of the elderly couples around us, which was super rewarding. And it's funny because I've grown up around a lot of these people but haven't seen them in a while, and they're getting old. One guy who used to just blabber on all the time now takes 5 minutes to say a sentence.
Okay, Juliana, that's a hard, that's hard to go up against right there, because feeding the elderly and, being charitable. Yeah. Juliana, what'd you do? It's hard to follow up, I know.
I stayed in bed. I hung out with my family. I didn't do a thing. Josh was over at his family's house in the beach area. We were having family dinner, and I was like, wow, I just don't understand how that worked. I was sitting in my bed, getting mad at my bird and bitching to my mom about how mad I am at Conan. Very silly. Is there an Easter bird, an Easter chick?
I mean, there's chicks.
He's an Easter chick. Yeah. I don't have any way to connect either of those.
There's the Easter peeps.
Ooh, those peeps. Those are bad, I think, actually.
Because of the resurgence of Minecraft, they have made creeper-inspired marshmallow peeps.
No way.
Which, if there's time, we will put a picture of on screen. They are cursed. They look so weird, but I really want to try them.
I personally think peeps taste horrible. It's just the fluffiness
They're
and the
not,
sugary,
Are they?
They're
decor?
Not good.
They're decor. You put them out for people to.
No,
look
you're
at.
supposed to eat them.
Jeez, I felt like I was attacked right there. Oh my god, a bomb went off in Vietnam or something like that. Jeez, it just never stops.
The only time I've ever had a marshmallow peep was one Easter day. I was in a park in San Francisco, and a hippie went and handed me a marshmallow peep, and my mom was really suspicious of it, so she gave it to my grandmother, and it was apparently laced with weed, and so she got high.
What?
She was having so my grandma was just having a good time for the rest of the day.
So you're telling me this hillbilly just gave you an edible for free? What?
Yeah, he thought, I don't know, he apparently thought it would be fun to give it to, I was probably 10, maybe 12 at the time. I was young, and I think he was just in a good mood because he was just walking around handing them out to people.
Yeah, handing out free drugs, not a lot of people can do that with confidence. That's crazy.
There's some generous hippies in San Francisco. It's crazy.
Maybe me and you need to take a trip to 420 San Francisco, a little park area, get some peeps with edibles, see what happens.
Yep.
Juliana, you can be included as well. I saw your face.
Oh, it's Conan.
Surprise
Hello, Conan.
guest.
Surprise guest, surprise villain. I don't think that, like, I don't know. I don't condone getting high on Peeps. I feel
You
that
don't
would be a
condone
really
getting
good thing
drugs.
to
You don't
sell.
condone what?
No, but like you know how drug dealers don't take drugs, but they sell drugs?
Are you a drug dealer? What?
I would no, like, but I would, but I just no, I don't, but I would. Like, it's in California, so it's fine.
I don't know what
Like,
point
my
you're making
mindset.
right now. Like,
That's my mindset. Like, don't take the Peeps edibles, sell the Peeps edibles.
oh, okay.
That's
I'm
fair.
not-
That's fair.
I'm not sorry, Debbie Downer of the situation.
All
I
right.
can't think of anything else. to
No,
say.
I respect your money moves, all right? I respect it. But, you know, me and Sam, we're going to get some Peeps and eat them
I
and
have a
watch
drug
you
dealer
sell
story.
them. We're going to watch you sell them. I think that'd be kind of funny, honestly. Like,
No, I
would-
don't want to be humiliated. Like, I'm just going out, like, I have my little stall in like a corner, and I'm just like, I have edibles, and then the cops come
You're
and they
doing a
take me
lemonade.
away.
You have a lemonade stand, but for edibles.
I know, and I think that'd be really humiliating.
I think that would be hilarious.
I think it'd be hilarious, honestly.
Hilarious for you.
Quick drugs. Yes,
For
that's
me.
true. That's true.
Sam,
Quick
you
drug
should sell
dealer
your
story
own
before we move
edibles.
on is there's this kid who I grew up across the street with. I had a class with him sophomore year, and his family's not super well off, and so I was very surprised when he came to school wearing like all very expensive clothing. And so we're sitting in class together, and I just turned to him like, dude, how did you afford all this stuff? And he's like, oh, I sell drugs. You want some? I got stuff on me. He's like, I got weed, I got coke, I got like all this shit. And I look, and my teacher is at his desk, maybe 10 feet away, just typing away. And my friend wasn't whispering. He was just like full volume, just saying this shit. And he is so lucky that my teacher was not paying attention. He would have gotten expelled.
Dude,
So
money
quickly.
talks, man. The teacher probably heard it, but he was like, you know what can I do? Like, this kid is already going somewhere else.
The way
Like,
his freaking like money moves, like take away his bag. That's like
he's
fucking
broke, man.
evil.
He's got to come up from somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
That's just pure evil. Don't take away anyone's bag.
nah. Capitalism fucks us all over. So, you know, you got to start learning from the early days, all right?
I think I'm
Gosh, we're
really
so-
bad at like making money moves. Like, I always do things for free, and I'm like, I really should charge people, but it's just hard to like think of like what's my rate. Like, I don't know, like I have difficulty like accepting money from my parents, even when they ask me like to do stuff that they would never ask me to do, like pulling the weeds out of the concrete, or like nailing shit to the walls, or painting their furniture. Like, I can't accept money, but like it's absolutely something you'd accept money for. Is that
You'd accept
relatable?
money if it was, yeah, you would accept money if it was pretty much anyone other than your parents.
Yeah, I was gonna
No,
say.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
I'm
Oh,
so
I'm
bad
so
at that. Like, I just
Really?
can't think, like, I can't think of a rate. I just want to do this out of the goodness of my heart. Or like, or
No,
I
see,
just
like-
like don't feel comfortable asking for money.
I can give you a good example. Me and Sam went to LA, right? And like, we both knew in the end, like, we're gonna be splitting costs. And so when one person was like, you know what, I'll pay for this, we only like said that because we know the other person's gonna take care of something else, because that's only fair.
Yeah,
obviously.
exactly. So it kind of evens out. And also, to your point, Juliana, like if my dad came up and was like, hey, I need you to like fix the porch or like fix the roofing, I would go and I would fix the roofing. But if some dude from across the street was like, hey, Sam, come on over and fix my roof, I would be like, all right, but you got to pay me a decent amount first.
Exactly.
I wouldn't just be like, oh yeah, sure, kindness of my heart. My heart is not that kind.
It's hard. Like, well, no one from the streets asking me to do that. And if they are, they do pay me. So you're right. Like, I definitely, like, I had a neighbor who's like really old, and we like took the weeds out of her concrete. I don't know, it was like 11. But like the people that usually ask me are my friends. Like, they're like, well, not my friends, but like my parents' old people friends who love me. And they're like, oh my God, do stuff around my house. Like hang out with me and do things in my house. And then I just don't ask for money because I'm like, I don't know. Like you're so much wiser than me, potentially.
Old
Not
people are
really.
kind of a hard one because they're on a limited budget. And so it's kind of hard. Like they only have so much money for the rest of their life. So it's kind of hard to accept money from them.
Okay, that makes
I think
sense.
avoid
But at the
the
exact same time, if you're going to be spending your time somewhere else where you don't even need to be there, and it's not out of the kindness of your heart, you should be expecting something in return. And you always say that at first, like, okay, I can do this, but is it possible that I can get paid because I'll be spending so much time on it? Like,
Even if you leave it, and you can, a good tip is you can leave it up to them. If you are kind of like, you're hesitant about asking for money because you don't know like how much you should ask or you don't know how much they'd be able to give, you could just say something like, hey, I'm super busy. I need to work. I need to be saving up money. I'd love to do this, but is there any way that you would be able to spare a bit for me to come and do this stuff around your house? And if they say yes, you can say, okay, well, however much you think is fair. Because that allows them to say, okay, well, if I don't have much money, I'll give a little bit. If I have more money, I can be more generous. So it leaves it in their hands.
Doesn't it like, I don't know, like I'm so stupid. No, I'm not. But just like if someone offered me like $5 an hour, I would be incredibly insulted and never talk to them again. But at the same time, like if that's all they have to offer, like sometimes the lines just don't connect. Like, oh, that's all they have to offer. Oh, but that's a really low number, so I'm insulted. Like, does that ever happen?
Whoa! You've been offered $5 an hour?
For what work?
Like,
Because people that I know would never say that because like they know, like I have respect for my time and they respect me as well. So they'd be hitting maybe like 15 or 17 or 12, and I'd be like, okay, that's reasonable because I know you, we're friends, but I'm still doing work for you. They never hit me with 5. Like then you just don't respect anybody if they hit you with 5. Like what?
The only time someone can like hit you with 5 and not be disrespectful if it's not a by the hour thing.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I need you to like, you're driving somewhere already. I need you to like stop at a 7-Eleven. I'll pay for the stuff. And then I'll also give you $5, where it's like not that big of an inconvenience, won't take you that much time. And they're just like it's like a tip. They're tipping you for your time.
It is something to think about. Work on that. 2021, we all can progress ourselves in certain skills and certain abilities. All right. That's always the game that we choose to play.
Josh, we still haven't heard how your Easter went.
My Easter was pretty good. I went to bodega. I played with some baby goats.
Nice.
Also other babies in the family, my niece and my nephew. And then we went to Santa Rosa, 8 tons of meat. Also had some ceviche, a little fancy.
Nice.
And then we just passed out on the couch and slept. So nothing as charitable as yours, but it was definitely a good time.
Still a very solid Easter.
Exactly. 10 out of 10,
You were playing Mother Teresa for your Easter day.
I had to follow after the Son of God. Be righteous. Josh,
stop! Get off your high horse. Get it off of it. I'm kicking your horse in the fucking butt.
What'd you say, Sam?
Never mind. Juliana, you started school recently, right?
Oh, she did?
Yes, I did start school. I started school yesterday. And it is, I don't know. Okay, so after high school, I thought that I wanted to be like a doctor. It's just because I watched Grey's Anatomy. I was like, okay, this might be something I'm interested in. I also worked in a vet clinic at the time. And I was like, okay, let's try this. Did my first semester at community college. Did not enjoy it. Did not do well. And I was so discouraged by the fact that I didn't pass anything. I didn't even have that big of a workload, but I also just was going through a difficult period. And I was also just not there. I just wasn't doing it. Anyway, changed my career plans, thought, okay, film school. Applied, now I'm in it. It's pretty amazing. I'm having a really amazing time. And I'm kind of impressed And I'm also like, some of it's kind of tacky, like the pop music that you hear and like the performances that all the teachers produce, like for the orientations. Like, I don't think that that's something that's normal, that people are just like, oh my God, welcome to the school. Here's our president. Here's all the things that you're going to do. And here's how you're going to be a part of the film entertainment industry and work with Grammy nominated actors and yada yada, or musicians. Shit like that. It's a total performance, not anything I've ever really experienced. It feels like theater, because it is. And I'm starting classes tomorrow.
Oh, so you haven't started yet?
No,
I
I've
thought
just
they
been to
started
orientations.
Okay, I thought you started
Oh,
off with your
got
brief
it.
description. So
Yeah. What classes do you have tomorrow?
So it's an interesting program. Specifically, like, you take one class a month, and then after you pass the final at the end of the month, you're done with that entire subject. And then the next month, you're learning an entirely new subject, and at the end of the month, you test out, move on. And
I've heard of schools like that.
It's like 3 years.
is there like a physical location too, or no?
Yes. So in August, I'll be moving to LA.
To LA.
Nice. That should be around the time that I'll hopefully be heading to Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way that schools sound like they're moving. I don't know. It's just interesting because I heard, like, one of our mutual friends, she just came back, personal choice, as well as like her personal school said, okay, after spring break, we're not inviting anyone back to the campus. The rest of the spring year is online, and they sent everyone home. The dorms were pretty much closed. So many schools are doing it so weird.
I was quite happy to hear that my school was staying at least mostly closed. They're starting to open up a little bit, but it's still almost entirely online classes. There's like 3 courses that are being taught in person because there's stuff like labs where you actually need to have the equipment on hand. But I'm just so glad they're doing that, because they opened up first semester, or at least somewhat opened up, and we were getting weekly emails about new COVID cases on campus because people just weren't taking it seriously. So hopefully, with a lot of schools being mostly closed and people starting to get vaccinated during the start of the next school year, we'll be able to be in person.
That's so scary. I would imagine a lot of schools would get sued because if they aren't taking the guidelines incredibly seriously, like some evil parent's going to be like, my kid got COVID, it's all your fault.
I think it was the students that weren't taking the guidelines seriously. I think the school was trying to enforce them as best as they can, but at the same time, you can't be on watch 24/7 and constantly be monitoring the behavior of every student.
I haven't heard a lot of situations where schools were getting in like a lot of trouble because students weren't taking it seriously. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Or not, your school didn't get in trouble, but like students weren't taking it seriously. I don't know. I've not heard a lot about that.
Yeah, and I mean, Chicago as a whole is just not doing great with COVID. It's been one of the higher rates in the country for a while, up there with like LA.
Higher than New York?
New York started off as one and then got better quickly and then got worse again, but I think is doing decently now.
I mean, nothing's worse than Miami right now with spring break and everything. So
I want to go to Miami so bad. Like, I'm so
Lord.
I don't know, like here's the thing. You still like have to wait till you're 21, but like something like Miami, like the Caribbean. But I've also been just searching through the internet, and everyone who's an islander is like, don't go to our island. Like, people that live on islands have terrible immune systems because they never immigrate or migrate anywhere. So if you give us COVID, we'll die. But
that's a very fair worry for them to have. Imagine how horrible that would be if a couple stupid teens thought it would be fun to go and party on an island and then just got a massive amount of the population sick.
Not that I've done that, but yeah, that's what I'd want to do. But at the same time, no, I don't know. I don't even have anything other. I was supposed to go to Medellin, but then I was like, okay, school better.
Go to where?
Oh, it's
Colombia.
it's a city called Medellin, Colombia, and
Colombia.
we were
Got
gonna
it.
go. It was a bad idea in the sense that like if I don't know, I just always think of like celebrities and how they talk about if they're gonna travel, like they're gonna be canceled. So I just think to myself like if they get in trouble for doing it, then I'm gonna just get in trouble with the people around me for doing it. So I probably shouldn't. But
No, you just live your life the way you want to live it. All right. It doesn't matter.
Josh is on my side. Josh, you're on my side because I invited you to come.
I wanted to go to Colombia either way, and then Juliana was like, "I'll go. Let's go. Like in May." And I was like, "Okay, like let's go." And 2 weeks later, oh, I don't want to go anymore. Like,
Good job, Juliana. Good job. Proud of you.
See, there's like the good versus bad like points of views in your head, but I
You got
didn't
the
want to go
angel
because
and
I
the
didn't
devil
want
on
to
your
feel.
shoulder.
Sorry,
I said you have the angel and the devil on your shoulder.
I didn't want to call
What to
Josh the
do.
devil.
hold on. There's no good and no bad, all right? There's no good and no bad. There's, a more
Good, enjoying yourself. Bad, potentially getting many people sick.
there's a more ethical choice and there's a more, selfish choice. There's, nothing in between.
Some people would call one of those good and the other bad, Josh.
Yeah, but like, that's just your own opinion, obviously.
These are all synonyms of each other. Moving on. But yeah, Josh was gonna come with me and I was really excited because I was like, oh, we're gonna go drinking and we're gonna go party, and Medellin's like this mountaintop and like the weather's perfect. Like if you think California is perfect, Medellin is like very similar, if not like perfect. And like the jungle is around you and you've got awesome people and it's just a great city. Really, I'm excited to someday go. Apparently someone called it, like, I was reading an article and they're like, it's the most like fast evolutionizing city in the world. I don't think that's the right word. Anyway,
Most
it's very
quickly
modern.
evolving city in the world.
Sure.
Wait,
Hold
Sam,
on,
what was
I
the
was
question you
still-
left off? Yeah.
The question I left off on was, I'm just going to try and go back to it. So Josh, I know you were doing community college classes last semester. What are you up to now?
I'm still doing community college classes. I'm starting to lose tons of motivation for it, so I might switch up and do something else relatively soon. We'll see what happens, in the next couple of months. Might keep you guys, updated, might not. We'll see what happens, obviously. But I also dyed my hair orange, I guess. It was supposed to be blonde, but it's orange, so,
It looks bleached.
bleached, yeah. I think it is bleached, but people call it orange and make fun of me, so I kind of just have to accept it for who I am at this point, right? And also, what?
Can I dye your hair?
You want to dye my hair? What color?
No, just blonde. Just make it blonder.
Oh, I mean, yeah, potentially, yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm down.
Gotta make it like
Uh,
boom, like the shiny part of my face. That kind of like boom.
Whoa, oh, that's wow.
That's
Maybe
funny.
it's like some tips. I'd be down. Maybe we'll see.
dye it silver, Josh. Just get crazy silver hair.
So I've also been doing some mini workouts, like every now and then, with some 10-pound weights. It's 15,
Nice,
10 minutes, and just trying to eat healthier. Which is a lot harder than we always say, but I'm just trying to keep doing it. In my spare time, I have been reading a lot, but I sadly haven't been watching any anime, which kind of sucks because I'm in this group called Anime Lover Anonymous. So,
What a clean segue.
I'm kind of leaving my homies to dry, at this moment in time. But we might jump back into it later on. So let's see what my other co-hosts have to say about anime.
All right. So I'll start us off as the only one who's been keeping up with actual anime. Then we'll move on to other stuff.
Our hero. Let's go.
So one of the biggest ones, Attack on Titan, the new season is out. It's actually one of the few big releases that I haven't been watching because Attack on Titan honestly kind of lost interest in it after the first season and a half. But I just constantly am seeing people freaking out about it, so I'll probably pick it back up.
It trends on Twitter at least once a week, worldwide. So it's crazy.
Yep. Let's see what else we have. Jujutsu Kaisen, which I absolutely adored, just ended recently. fantastic show. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Season 2 is just wrapping up now. It might keep going. The current arc seems to be ending, but it seems to be swiftly transitioning into the next one. What else? God, when the recording was off, I listed like 5 more animes. What else?
Dr. Stone.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Stone season 2 also, I believe, just ended. That's another one that I was very excited for. I loved nerding out over that show and seeing the very, very simplified process for making various machines. And so I was very excited to get to do the same thing for season 2.
The irony when it comes to that show, because me and you took that trip to LA, and when we went to like Anime Expo, all over
everywhere.
inside the stadium, there were just flags and like commercials of Dr. Stone, and then bang, it just turns into one of your favorite shows. Like,
yeah, it was fantastic. Dr. Stone ended, and that's pretty much all I've been keeping up with for anime. So if we want to transition over to manga, I think that we'll have some more to share.
First recommendation, Haremia the Anime. If you haven't read the series, I totally recommend it. It's been going on for 10 years. And the volumes have already finished in Japan, and the next couple chapters are going to be coming out in America within the next couple of months. We're like 3 chapters away from the entire series ending. And it's insanely crazy because I've been reading the story since I was maybe 11 or 12. And I'm now 18, almost 19. And it just makes me cry reading the story. Totally recommend watching it. I also love Positively Yours. It is a series. I'm just going to list everything I recommend. Positively Yours. These are so funny. It's hard for me to say. The villain discovered my identity. The protagonist's pet. All I can say is like these are all of the same vein of stories where they're just Bridgerton. They're just Bridgerton, but in art. The young lady. I think I'll stop there, and I'll keep adding more in next week's episode. But those are the 3 that I'm going to recommend. The first one is about someone who has very bad trust issues in men. And this guy falls mad head over heels for her and knocks her up, and he's like very rich and famous and successful, and she's just like a normal teacher, and she's just like the power dynamic. It's just too much. I don't want to be here. But he's like, but I love you. It's a very touching story because she grows throughout the story, and their love is very sweet. The villain discovered my identity. The girl is hiding her identity, and she's just a boy. She's just pretending to be a boy because if she wasn't a boy, then she'd die. Because like her brother signed up to be in the military, and then he disappeared to like rendezvous with his secret lover. So she has to be in it. She has to be there for him. Very much similar to Amanda Bynes' She's the Man. The antagonist pet could go on forever. Oh God. This one is just I actually don't recommend this one. But I do recommend just reading it because if you have nothing to do in this pandemic and you're so in need of something to read, it's just some girl who doesn't have a big successful family. So she's staying with a very successful family and just riding off their coattails because she doesn't have any money. She's pretty much like their pimp. They're her pimp. She's their pet. The whole focus of the story. The last one I'm going to recommend.
Lord.
The young lady I served became a young master. I swear these titles make me so embarrassed, but I love reading them. This person's a maid. That's it. She's a maid. She's taking care of a lady she thinks is a lady. The person's lying. They're actually a guy. They take some sort of steroid to make them smaller.
I'm sensing a trend.
Absolutely. There's absolutely a trend with all of these. It's all just like drawn Bridgerton. The guy's pretending to be a girl because that's what his father wants him to be until he turns 18, and then he can stop taking his steroids and then be the honcho man he wants to be. I don't know. But it's a very cute love story because he's obsessed with her, but he can't tell her. And those are my recommendations.
Are looking for love? Interesting.
We were attacked again by a wild animal, so.
Yeah.
Pardon the interruption.
Josh, this is one that you have. I don't know if you've read it recently, but Marshall Peak
Yes.
is now getting close to its 1,100th chapter,
Yes.
which is ridiculous. That is such a long manga.
No, the light novel is even longer. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's still going. Yeah, they're pumping out 3 or 4 chapters a day, just every single day. It's ridiculous. Like I got legitimately scared when only one chapter got released. I was like, is this the end? Are they no longer doing it? Why aren't they doing their usual production? And the next day, bam, 4 episodes at like 7 in the morning.
Now, for those of you that don't like read manga, it's typically a chapter once a week, maybe like once every 3 days. But the author for this specific manga, he just grinds it because he knows his audience just loves every second of it. And we're really thankful for that, obviously, because other manga just could care less sometimes.
Yeah. For more mainstream manga, the author of Hunter x Hunter, who hasn't been doing anything for a very long time because he's been very ill. Yeah. So his wife is the artist for, I believe, Sailor Moon. And she has actually started trying to learn to draw in his art style so that she can actually take up the mantle and continue Hunter x Hunter, which would also probably mean the continuation of the anime because the arc after where the anime ends and the manga continues doesn't ever finish. It stops in like the very middle of the arc as things are just starting to ramp up and get good. So who knows, in the next like year or two, we might be seeing the return of Hunter x Hunter.
It really sucks because they kind of just left you on a cliffhanger that was never solved for the next like decade and a half. Like it just really rotted everybody's brains. Like, what the fuck? Like, why'd you do this to us? But then he was obviously really sick, so it makes sense. But poor predicament.
Is he dead? Or like what?
I don't think he's dead yet. He's definitely very ill and dying. But I think he's pretty sure he's still alive.
Wait, so she's gonna reanimate the anime? Is that what you're saying?
No, she's gonna draw the manga.
I thought the manga was over?
No, the manga. So the manga and the anime end, and then the manga continues about halfway into a new, very elaborate arc. And that's when, and the anime was waiting for that arc to end before it continued. I assume. I don't know that for sure, but that would make the most sense considering how popular it is. And so she is starting to learn his art style so she can take up the mantle.
Off topic, when Conan started screaming, I started crouching. And
crouching.
And I slipped out of my chair, and like the bar from my chair just went boom, the back of my neck.
Wow.
Are you okay? That sounds painful.
Everything's fuzzy.
What do you mean by that?
Hold on. Do we need to stop the episode? Are you okay?
No, I'm fine, but like I thought it would be dramatic effect for the podcast. Like a nice little like auditory like
I'm legitimately worried for you. You said everything was fuzzy?
No, it was just for clickbait. All right.
Oh, we're just clickbait out here. All right. Juliana dies? ?
Poor viewers, man.
The perfect clickbait.
I'm not even gonna lie. I thought Juliana like genuinely just disappeared. I was like, where the fuck did she go? Did she leave the room?
Honestly, I kind of like I was either like watching Josh or zoning out, and then I like glance over at Juliana because I'm like, she hasn't said something in a bit, and then you're just gone.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, where'd she go?
I thought Conan killed you or some shit.
Ate her, right? Like what?
Yeah.
I should have just kicked him out beforehand. But just every moment is him screaming, and I'm getting less and less like okay with it. I'm like, but I feel like weird to voice that because I don't want to sound like, oh my god, I just despise my bird and I'm gonna grow resentment. I'm gonna like send him out into the wild to be free and to get eaten by something. But that's something I'm thinking. But like, it's not something I'd ever do.
I don't think it's, resentment or like, I don't think you should be mad at having those thoughts because people have those thoughts when they have babies and, they don't just set them free. It's like normal. Like,
You're like, I don't like how much my baby is singing. Set him down on a sidewalk. Go free, my child. Go free into the corporate American world and make a living for yourself.
If
You
I was
2-year-old baby.
I don't think I can leave Conan at like a fire station, but like if I guess it's like the equivalent. I think you need 72 hours.
Wrap him up in a blanket, put him in a basket, and leave him on the doorstep of the fire station.
But people give their babies back. And this is why I can't be a mom. Do you ever think about that? Like, I can't be a parent. I'd give it away.
I mean, the crying and the screaming is like intolerable sometimes. It lasts for hours and hours. And you're just like, wow. Like,
nieces. You have nieces. Like,
I have a niece and a nephew, not
and
multiple
you live with
nieces.
them. You have a
Yeah.
nephew?
Yeah, and a nephew and a niece, not 2 nieces.
Oh, I thought you had 2 nieces. I didn't.
Nah. My family's about, equality and, equity. So we have 2 genders. All right, not just.
All right, champ. All right, relax.
Exactly.
Relax.
Like, nephew wanted to be a banana.
What?
People still say that might be a little too old, but like when I was younger, people used to be like, if I want my gender to be a dragon, that's what I'm gonna be.
They never said that when we were younger. They said that like 5 years ago.
Do you guys remember the whole fad of like, oh my god, it says male, female, and male, female prefer not to say, where's my attack helicopter gender?
Yeah, there we go. See, that was like 5 years ago.
God.
We were young.
I legitimately.
What do you mean?
Dude, I legitimately despise our generation. We are horrible. I hate us.
I agree, because I hated that time. But at the same time, I kind of want, like, bring it back, but also just not take it as seriously as it felt like it was being taken seriously. Like, those people, I thought they were 100% honest when they were like, my spirituality is Lady Gaga or like a unicorn. And that's just, like, disgusting, But I kind of want to bring it back. It's like when people like dab in 2021 with like, ooh, but like it used to be disgusting 5 years ago or whatever.
Oh, Lord. It was great and then disgusting, and now it's ironic and disgusting.
Yes.
This is not related to anything that we've ever really talked about, but I'm always on YouTube. YouTube's where I watch everything. I've been watching a lot of the show called that's a weird like post-verbal title. Regardless, it's 2 drag queens. And it's just pop culture, so much fun. And I don't really know how to go from here because neither of you know what I'm talking about. But it's just different topics every single episode. And it's like so much that there's like over 150, 140 of just like whatever you want to talk about. And you know what I'm talking about. I can't do it.
What is happening? Oh, okay.
Reveal, let's go.
Little commercial break right there. Sam,
yep.
All right. As we were talking about Juliana's, drag queen episode and stuff like that, what do you watch on YouTube with your spare time? Tell me. Because those algorithms usually just take you in rabbit holes where you could be up at 3 a.m. looking and searching for certain things, and you'll get something completely different.
I've been watching a lot of the like simple animation YouTube channels like Bird, Circle Tunes, those kinds of guys, because it's so easy to just like, I don't know. I don't like this, but I've been finding that I have like a worse and worse attention span. And so longer videos are, unless they're like something very specific, it just loses me. But their videos are like 1.5 to 3 minutes. You just watch it, laugh at it, and move on, which is great. But what I have been watching a lot of is Netflix. I've been watching a show called, I think it's Blow Away, which is it's like Top Chef, that style thing, but for glass blowing.
Oh, okay. My sister had that.
Fantastic. It's such a great. I used to do glass blowing, And
He used to
I
blow
haven't.
really well.
You're a middle-aged woman.
I used to be great at blowing.
Yeah, there we go.
People were amazed at my blowing skills.
They'd stand in line for hours just for a little blow.
Yeah, yeah. Men would line up to see me blow.
Stop. I think we're in the line of offensive.
No. Sam would take his
This
time
is
too.
fine.
Hours on
Yeah.
hours for each blow. Like,
Yeah. I would blow until I am very satisfied with my work.
There we
Until
go.
everybody involved is satisfied.
How do I murder this joke? How do I make sure I never hear of it ever?
You just blow it away.
Doing that
You
kind
just
of
blow it away.
It's
Yeah,
me.
just blow it away. He's dead.
I'm the only one doing it.
Anyways, back to the actual show.
Oh my
It's
God.
fantastic because they'll be so cocky about their work, and then it'll just shatter. And it's so funny watching them try and be like, they look devastated, but they're like, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I got this. Easy. Bringing it back. Let's go. And then they'll produce something that's not even like half as good, and they'll be like, you know what? I'm pretty proud of my work. It's like, dude, you should not be.
That's not even funny. That's miserable. That's like that's my nightmare.
It's hilarious.
That's failure. That's failure in life.
Well, you just have to look at it in a different lens, just like Hell's Kitchen or like any of Gordon Ramsay's shows. Like you're gonna get shit on. You're gonna get attacked.
Where's the sauce?
But at the end of the day, your work will get better. As you compete more and more.
No.
Yep.
Look at I was actually just watching those. I was watching the Hell's Kitchen, rotten food, black mold everywhere, the inconsistency of communication. That shit's embarrassing. And people sign
It's
up for
disgusting.
that. I love that. I don't know. I was thinking about this in the car. I was like, he only ever grades Italian American, European cuisine, and I kind of like that because he's not delving into something he doesn't really know much about.
Whoa. He dives into everything because he knows everything, all right? Yeah.
Everything?
Look,
sushi? Like a shitty sushi restaurant?
Well, yeah, for sure. Gordon Ramsay is a 3-star Michelin chef, all right? He's cooked pretty much everything in the world.
He knows. That means nothing.
That means a lot. That means a lot.
You don't become a 3-star. You don't become a 3-star Michelin chef because you're good at everything.
No, but you're good. But with Gordon Ramsay, if you think about specifically Gordon Ramsay, without the 3-star Michelin chef title and everything like that.
Jambalaya cafes, I'm pretty sure every episode that I've ever seen is pizza, burgers, salad.
What? No, I've seen him do gumbo. He's done curry. He's done so many different authentic and indigenous meals for certain cultures, and they're always amazing. And then when the people that he competes with are usually indigenous to that culture, they're always okay, that was amazing, better than mine. Or if it wasn't, they'd be like, these are certain tips that you could work on.
Maybe I'm just not. I'm not gonna go too deep into that anymore because I'm just not sure. But Hell's Kitchen is embarrassing, and anyone that's on it, that's mortifying. And I don't know how you can recover from that unless you're 100% going to go with his program. Because when he leaves, when he's like, I'm sorry, I've tried everything. You are now being incredibly rude to me, and I must separate myself because you're just gonna make me. Ooh, that's so scary. Have you seen the episodes where people are like, no, you're the problem, Gordon Ramsay? And he's like, well, I have to go. Have you seen them?
I haven't seen those.
Oh.
I have not. I actually haven't watched Hell's Kitchen.
I'll send them to you. Oh my God, they're so mortifying.
Yeah, but at the exact same time, you sort of know what you're expecting because you're choosing to go on Gordon Ramsay's show. And if you're not going there to learn better and to get some discipline, then there's no reason to go anyway,
And that's why he leaves. He's like, why are you even here? And he just,
yeah, exactly.
Oh God.
You know what you're getting into. If you're shocked, then you're obviously stupid. It just makes no sense.
We can all agree on this. I'm assuming we can all agree on that.
Oh, okay. What I really want to talk about is that when it comes to social media in our generation, if you have a certain thought that is even slightly different from the main perspective, you get immediately attacked on. And I think that's just not okay, because also like we're gonna be so used to a certain perspective that's gonna fuck this entire human race over. Like it's gonna be sad.
I don't know. Like I agree, but it's like I at the same time, like the conversation of like everything is incredibly complicated. It's just hard to bring that in there, especially when people are just like, oh, we think we know the right way. So I understand what you're saying. I was just watching the Demi Lovato documentary. This all goes into like the pop culture stuff, but like Demi Lovato, like she had her overdose in 2018. Both of you know about it, right?
Yeah, I know about it.
Nope.
Oh, well, it happened. She was on heroin and fentanyl, like Michael Jackson.
Cool.
Michael Jackson died. Anyway, she has been recovering for like the past couple of years. Like, I don't know. It's very pop culture, social media kind of stuff. So, regardless, she's been having a documentary. She's been talking about it. And she's choosing to stay like California sober, is what she's coined it as, where she's like drinking alcohol and still like smoking weed, which a lot of people find controversial. Elton John is in this documentary, guys. He's just like, there's absolutely no way that this is gonna work for her. This is not the way that shit works. You just stop. And like, it's a very controversial topic of like, if you were doing like coke, heroin, fentanyl, and then like you try to like just cut yourself off cold turkey and it doesn't work. And like do you what it doesn't work for everybody, but it was just something really interesting. Like she's gonna get a lot of backlash for it. I'm surprised she hasn't already for like, I don't know, by like people that have a lot of drug issued family members. Like I think the way that she handled it was so good that no one's like gotten super angry about her about it, that they've like that it hasn't become like big social media news. But I don't know, that's something that it goes into the topic of like, if you don't agree with one thing, normally people would just cancel you, but no one's canceling her right now. And I don't know, this is very social media, like James Charles getting canceled because of his issue with grooming minors. Such a difficult topic, so difficult to talk about. But I know. Okay, so James Charles, he has a lot of issues with like going after straight guys, and then like just taking advantage of him because he's rich and famous, but also then coming out and being like, James Charles came onto me in a very inappropriate way, and I'm gonna expose him on it for clout, and I'm gonna expose him on it just, and at the same time, there's like favoring little details like they were minors, and that's like, I don't know, like people withhold their information from him, and like he could have vetted them out, but he didn't, so that's obviously like a huge red flag. Obviously he broke the law, like he should go to jail or get a fine.
Whoa, hold up. If I remember correctly, like from briefly, they said they were 18, obviously.
No, they said that they were 18, but they lied.
Exactly.
But it's still his job as the adult to like vet that out.
I know, obviously, but like you can't really like put that entire blame on someone when they lie completely. Like
everyone's canceling him.
Exactly, but here's the thing: like if they cancel him
the TV show
for something that another person lied about, obviously, like he's the adult. But if they lied the entire way and they kept that lie going, like it shouldn't be completely his fault, obviously.
So that is an interesting topic of how much fault do you put on, because what would he ask for ID? Is that like
no? It was just over social media.
Because how do you prove? Because it's so easy to over social media. It's very easy to like, if you're, let's say you're 17 or even if you're 16, it is so easy to on social media make it look like you're 18 and make it completely believable. It's very difficult to. It can be very difficult if this person is actively trying to seem older to make it so that to easily tell what their actual age is, which I feel like is a potential risk of social media.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's a millionaire. Everyone's using the argument of, well, because you're a public figure, because you're someone that too many people have their eyes on, you should be vetting people, and you should have a team of people that like go into the people that you're dating, which is reasonable, especially because he's a celebrity, and a lot of celebrities like vet who they're dating before they date them, I guess, is their argument, which is unreasonable, but that's what they want to hold people to the standard of. They want to hold every celebrity to that standard of, you shouldn't date anyone unless you vet them. And it's not fair, but it's not fair. I don't think it's fair. I think it's completely unfair that he's getting persecuted for something that these people are looking for clout. They all are like, James Charles sent me stuff and I'm 14. And like, that sounds insane.
14.
A 14-year-old kid. These kids, in my opinion, they look like skinny 20-year-olds because they're like 6'3". So I don't know. It's like, remember when we were in school and like I'm gonna just say the name now and then bleep it later, but like IS, like St. Ignatius, like all of the kids that went to that school were 6'5". And I remember going to parties with people from St. Ignatius and they were so tall, and I was like, you could be 21 and I would know nothing about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's just something that is so difficult to like maneuver. But I think that he should get in a lot of trouble for it because it's illegal.
Well, it's not illegal. It's not. It's really not.
It is
Like,
illegal.
It is.
no,
I
I'll tell you.
Sexual is in like sexual comments to a minor is illegal. That's what was going on. Sexual content to a minor.
The reason why it's not, illegal is because nothing ever happened. It was the minor's fault for lying and putting him in that position, and then also keeping up the lie. And also, thank God, nothing did happen. Of course, then James Charles would be in some kind of trouble. But he probably didn't make any like sexual advances. Probably like, oh, I like you, cutie face, and like some hearty emojis, but like that's probably it.
No, he did. That's the problem. He made sexual advances towards these people.
Like, well, I'm gonna fuck you. Like if it says that, then I can understand. But if it's not like that, then
Well, online sexual advances still counts. It's still the law.
I think Josh is asking. I think Josh is asking what were the sexual advances that he made? Like,
nude pictures.
Did he send photos? Oh, okay. Yep, yeah, that's hard to defend.
Yeah.
But do we know that for sure, or is that just an assumption?
No, we know that for sure.
Okay, Sam, if I'm putting you in this position, right? Say a girl.
Wait.
You and a girl.
Wait.
You want to get anything on here? We are cutting this out, Josh. You not admitting to anything.
I'll put
it curious, but this is crazy.
I'll put it on Juliana then. Juliana, you're talking with the person.
I'm very curious. What is this?
All right, who wants to take it then? Sam or Juliana?
I'll take it. I'll throw myself under the bus here. Let's see it.
Sam, you're talking with this girl, right?
Sure.
Or do you want it to be a guy? I'm fine with either one.
I don't care.
All right, so you're talking with this girl. You guys are talking. Everything's fine. On social media, she claims she's 18, 19, your age, right? Obviously. And you guys are starting to get to that, sexual point. And you're like, you know what? Do you want to send, explicit photos to each other? She says yes. You start sending. She sends back. All of a sudden, she goes to the police and says, hey, this guy just sent me this inappropriate photo. And I'm a minor. Like, if you think about it that way.
Wait, you have to add like 5. You send this. You have this exact same conversation with like 16-year-olds.
No, but people do that all the time, though. You have multiple conversations with multiple people. That's what social media is for. But they all lied that they're 18. How can that possibly?
I'm gonna hedge around actually answering this question. But so one thing I want to say is that it is potentially difficult because I know that when I was in high school, I knew that some of my underage classmates were on Tinder. Josh had actually found one of their profiles. Juliana is saying her as well. And all of these profiles will say they're 18, 19, somewhere around there. And it's hard to know what's a red flag, because even if they say they're in high school, I was 19 coming out of senior year of high school. So it's hard to definitively say like, oh, unless it's like 17, unless it's like sophomore year of high school, that's when you can probably very definitively be like, there is no way that they are 18. But I was 18 junior year. I was legally an adult in junior year. So it's hard. You kind of, just to be safe, if you are if you're older, just maybe stay away from anyone who claims to be 18, 19. It seems like a safe bet. You have no real way of finding out definitively that they are actually 18, so be careful.
I think that's
Stay away.
completely true and right on, Sam. But I think there's also that double standard because I think girls will send like tons of explicit photos to like 15-year-old, 14-year-old boys, especially when it comes to like the OnlyFans and like promoting that kind of stuff. They'll just send like an explicit photo in the DMs or something like that. But we don't hold them accountable nearly to the amount that we do to like men, of course we see some, outside of social media, like men, being aggressive and stuff like that. But when it comes to social media, we'll see like, different types of things, and we don't hold certain genders accountable sometimes, which is
Wait,
sad.
are you talking about like girls that are over 18 messaging like 16-year-old guys or 15 or 17-year-old guys?
Exactly. Or like girls are like 19, 20. I saw this funny meme actually. This girl that was like an OnlyFans creator. She sent this 15-year-old dude, which says in his bio, 15-year-old, tons of like OnlyFans explicit photos and says, "Hey, do you want to buy up?" And the guy kept saying, "No, I'm a minor. Like, I'm a minor. Like, do you not get the message?" Like, that's, yeah. And she didn't get the message at all. And I feel like we see those a lot because there's tons of kids on social media and there's tons of those explicit photos and people trying to make those money off it,
That's bad. Like, if I heard that, I would be like, that's fucking bad. That's really bad. Like, I mean, the scale of canceled is so different depending on who you are. And James Charles, like, if you guys who are listening know, or to you who don't know, he has like 20 million followers on YouTube, millions and millions of followers. His brand is incredibly large in comparison to whoever this OnlyFans girl may or may not be. It just depends. Like, if it was a very famous OnlyFans girl, or if it was a famous celebrity, if it was a famous influencer, like, I just don't know. I would hope that they would be held just as accountable. That's my hope.
Though there is a problem with women committing statutory rape, which doesn't happen nearly as often as men committing statutory rape, but we'll say that, not being held accountable. There have been many news stories where there was one case where an older teacher seduced a older female student, or a teacher, sorry, seduced one of her male students. I think I finally said that correctly.
Yeah.
And in the ruling of this very clear-cut crime, the judge stated that he believed that they were truly in love, which you would never hear if it was the other way around. And even in what?
You'd never hear that?
You'd never hear that.
You think you would hear a judge? You think you would hear a judge in a case where a male teacher seduced a young girl say that they were legitimately in love? I think that you would never hear that.
I disagree. I really disagree. If there was enough evidence, I'm surprised that they even got that result. I am so surprised to hear that was the result of that hearing. I would imagine that woman to be just thrown in jail. Huge fine.
It doesn't happen. Even in the reporting of it. In much of the reporting, they never actually mentioned the word rape. They never mention assault. They never mention molestation.
What was it?
It's always teacher accused of having sex with a student. It's never teacher accused of raping student. It's never teacher accused of molesting young student. That's
just sex. I mean, it's illegal, but I mean, it's still sex. It's just illegal.
It is a crime.
It is a
but
crime.
If you heard male teacher accused of having sex with female student, that gives off a different vibe than teacher accused of raping female student. Those two things give off very different vibes.
Okay, I understand. Like, statutory.
So the wording does very much matter.
Is this wording statutory rape?
Yes, the word is statutory rape. Though people often just say rape.
Okay, I'm catching up. I agree. If the article said just having sex, I would be like, it's statutory rape. So yeah, okay, I can agree with that. It just depends, because I mean, it would be really strange for me to hear a story of like a teacher and a student being in love and having sex and then them getting in trouble for it and them not getting the same result. That would just be very strange to me personally. I don't know. I've never heard of that.
One other quick example is there was a teacher, a female teacher, who was a coach of a sports team at a high school. And she was trying to seduce one of the athletes on the team who kept saying no. And she said that if he didn't, she wouldn't write him a letter for his college, a recommendation letter for his college. And she was found not guilty of statutory rape.
That's so
I'll see if I can find the article so that it can be linked in the video, but it's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. I don't. Oh! At our high school, we had issues with like a particular. We all know who I'm talking about. A particular coroner. It's not a funny subject. I'm gonna calm down. It was very serious allegations of sexual assault to like his own children, like people. I don't remember who it was. I don't remember.
It was multiple underage students, and then also his own daughter, and his wife, who was a PE teacher, stood behind him for much of it, and actually ended up having to leave Juliana's school, and ended up coming to my school.
Recommendations.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay, well, my recommendations are drink some water, eat some chicken, work out, see the world, talk to 2 strangers this week, have a good conversation, all right? And just live your life the way you want to live it. Sam, leave it off, and then let's intro out, all right?
All right. So everybody, thank you so much for watching the entire episode. If you would be so kind as to leave a like and subscribe, it really helps our brand new channel get out there and reach more people. Our first episode has almost 50 views, which we are all so grateful for. Thank you all so much. And finally, if you could leave a comment down below on any topics you think you would like us to cover, we will cover almost any topic and give at least a short bit of our views on them. So we really want this podcast to be as interactive as possible between us and the audience. And now that we're all caught up and we're starting to film these live, we'll actually be able to interact with you guys more.
Mm-hmm. And we are very fluid in the format of how we can do this. There will always be Animes Lovers Anonymous, but anything that you guys want us to talk about, whether it be movies, pop culture, politics, whatever it is, questions you might have about personal life, we'd love to answer them. You can email us at thenoculturepodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's thenoculturepodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to answer any of your questions. Also, the comment section. We read all of our comments. We read all 4 of our comments.
Not many, but we do read them.
We'd love many more. And we love talking to you guys, and we love anything that you have to say to us. Most recently, Sam had someone who was reaching out to him, offering us a beautiful backdrop for us to use, and that's the one that you're going to be seeing right now. Again, thank you so much. I wanted to give a personal thank you to Muzzy. Thank you so much. It was very sweet of you to think of us. Again, we love anyone that's listening to our show. We love you. And scene.
So again, thank you for watching. I'm Sam Schnee. You can find me at Sam Schnee on Instagram.
I'm Juliana McKenna. You can find me at Juliana McKenna everywhere.
I'm Joshua Santos. You can find me on Tinder. No Culture Podcast out.
I hate you.
I love that ending. Perfect ending. We're good.
Not a man.
You can find me on Instagram. You can find me anywhere. You can find me on Tinder. Fantastic.
Oh my god.
God, that was so stupid, Josh. I love it.
It brings some personality to the podcast. I got you guys.
It really does. That was hilarious.
Let's know who you want to be for the podcast. Gosh, what if in 10 years, like, someone's like, oh, Josh, I don't know.
They can
old
find me
man.
on Tinder.
Like, podcast babes. Podcast babes.
Finds 30-year-old Josh still chilling on Tinder.
Oh my god, you were on the No Culture podcast. Oh my god, isn't he gonna name Josh? I loved you on that show.
What can I say? Like,
Yeah,
what can I
babe.
say? Yeah, babe. Like,
I was
Yo, babe.
living in my youth.
me and my orange hair. Like, yeah, like,